Hey, everybody. Welcome to Spill the Milk. It's Nicki, also known as the Baby Whisperer on a lot of my social media platforms. I'm a registered nurse and a board certified lactation consultant with 20 years experience in the lactation trenches. Today, we're going to get really real about revisions, tongue ties, lip ties, cheek ties, and how, despite all the hype, most babies do not need those revisions. I want to walk you through what I see in my practice, what the evidence actually shows, and when, if ever, a revision might make sense. Because the last thing we want is jumping to a revision before we explore all the other options. We need to make sure that baby is been supported and the time has been given for the baby to master the latch. So let's set the stage. We're going to talk about anatomy, and I'm going to give you a little bit of just a reality check. Let's start with what a tie really means. A tie, whether a lingual, which is tongue, frenulum, a labial, which lip, frenulum, or a buccal cheek tie issue restriction. It's a variation in oral anatomy. Here's the important part. There's no perfect mouth anatomy, just like there's no perfect human body anatomy. That's the most important thing I want to say right up front. There's no perfect. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, the AAP, clinical report, the rate diagnosis of a tongue tie in newborns, listen to me, ranges from 1.7% to 10.7%. That's still less than 90%, okay? In studies out of the US, Canada, and England. Also, this one's really important, between 1997, some of you probably weren't born yet, and 2012, the diagnosis rate jumped almost tenfold. You guys, tenfold. And then doubled between 2012 and 2016. What does that really just tell us? It tells us we're looking at a condition that exists, right? But to what level? So the big thing that we need to take into consideration is, does that condition matter in each baby's feeding? So why are revisions, why revisions are actually rarely required? This is what I want to touch on. This is what the important stuff is. I've been doing this for 20 years, tens of thousands of moms and babes. And here's where I need to bring in what I see into practice. In those 20 plus years, I've sent fewer than 15 moms to actually be referred and help with a revision. Hundreds, if not thousands of dyads, and less than 15% have been referred. Why? Here, I'm going to tell you why. My priority is latch, support, time, and growth. The AAP data backs up that the mere presence of a visible frenulum doesn't automatically mean feeding trouble. The American Academy of Pediatrics states that only a fraction of frenula tether sufficiently to cause nipple pain and reduced milk transfer. They emphasize that surgery should be reserved only after all of the other causes have been addressed. Again, latch, intense support with latch and giving the baby time. Now, why do we rush to revise? Well, those are major red flags for me. I'm just going to be really blunt. Surgery isn't harmless. Those revisions, they're not harmless. Revising a tie when the root cause was really just latch or support means you're subjecting your baby to trauma, pain, disruption of a feeding pattern. Think of it like cutting your bicep muscle, then asking it to work at a full strength immediately after. The American Academy of Pediatrics says, and this is, you guys listen to this, there is no standard diagnostic criteria for tongue ties and the relationship between the frenulum appearance and feeding function. No relation between appearance and function. Listen to it. No relation between appearance and function. Some additional real-world risks. Here's the risks that you guys don't get taught enough. Your baby may refuse the breast post-revision because of pain or altered sensation. Milk transfer may remain inefficient, if latch support wasn't optimized. Your baby has to learn new oral mechanics now, which is more challenging early in the newborn period when everything is still developing. So please, when you have a newborn and they're referring for that tongue revision, we need to give you time. Let's talk about some common scenarios that do not automatically mean you revise. This one's critical for you lactation consultants and for the moms listening. We're going to talk about clicking. If your baby is clicking at the breast, a wide variety of babies click just due to overactive letdown, not necessarily a tie. That's not the number one cause of clicking. If latch is painful, it's often due to positioning, maternal nipple anatomy, baby's alertness, flange size. But it's not always the frenulum, you guys. That's the least common thing it is. If baby isn't gaining enough, well, that's really simple. Again, increase the frequency of your feeds, give you good support, and just sit in that moment. Learning latch takes time. The American Academy of Pediatric report says that less than half of infants with the physical findings consistent with a restrictive frenulum actually have feeding difficulties. So half of them don't even have difficulties. In other words, visible tie plus no functional feeding trouble equals monitor. Leave them alone. Don't rush into a revision. See if we can, with support, education, and knowledge, help mom get through it. All right, so what's hugely important? Latch work comes first. That comes first before we revise. This is exactly where I raise my voice. Before you think of revision, make sure you have an LC who is really focused on latch and transfer. That should be the first thing they focus on. Find a lactation consultant who evaluates baby's posture, tongue lift, lip flange, baby's suck pattern, maternal comfort, letdown management, all those things. Find somebody who works with you in that moment and doesn't try to send you for a referral. And you guys need to recognize latch takes time. You are both learning each other. Lower your expectations and breathe. You've got this. The American Academy of Pediatrics also says, identify feeding problems early and offer comprehensive care. Comprehensive care. Maybe a little bit of speech language. Introduce that mom to a lactation consultant. For moms, if your LC is not invested in latch and transfer, it's a huge red flag for me. Huge. Your LC should be fully invested in getting you a good latch. If you feel pressured into surgery before someone invests their time and support in you, you definitely need a second opinion. Now listen, let's keep this into perspective. There may be times when a revision might be indicated, but again, keep this moment right here into perspective. It's rare. So yes, there are situations where revision makes sense, but you arrive there only after great latch support, optimization of your supply, frequent feeds, baby alertness, evaluation by an LC or a feeding team has happened first. Indicators might be documented poor milk transfer despite support, maternal pain despite support, education, knowledge, working with you on latch. Pain persists, then yes, but we have to make sure the other criteria have been met first. The American Academy of Pediatrics clarifies frenotomy to prevent future speech or sleep apnea issues is not evidence-based. You guys, listen, it's not evidence-based. There may never be a speech issue. There may never be a speech issue. Again, revision is not a magic fix. Baby will still need latch support, healing time, and sometimes oral motor re-education. Okay? All these things, they're super important. So I'm going to give you some straight talk. My real world observations for these last 20 plus years I've been doing this. I've seen babies refuse the breast post-revision due to pain aversion. I've seen this a ton. In fact, I see it a majority of the time. I've also seen low milk supply later on because of a revision when transfer never improved because latch wasn't addressed. I've seen my fair share of overly revising baby because you guys, many providers rely on visual estimate. There's no standardized tool to say where to laser, where to cut, where to do that. And so that in itself can result in compromised function forever. An overly revised tongue is dangerous. I've seen dyads thrive without any revision when latch support was optimized. Baby grew and mom's comfort improved. So here's my stance. Support first, then monitor, educate, stay with that mom. If truly needed, then I might consider a referral. So now we're going to take it to a mom that I saw. So I had a mom whose baby was day 5. There was some visual looking tightness in the frenulum. So she was anxious. We spent 2 weeks, 3 visits, fixing positioning, checking supply, ensuring frequent cues were met. And by day 21, the 3-week mark, baby was transferring well. Weight gain was great. Guess what? No revision needed. Contrast that with baby at week 8. Latch still shallow despite lactation support. Feeding times of 45 plus minutes. Baby not gaining well. After full support, revision was discussed and done. Baby improved. Again, very rare. What made the difference? Time, support, functional focus, not just anatomy. It's the function. It's not how it looks, it's the function. So my message, give mom and baby a chance. Don't let fear or hype rush you into fixing or cutting or lasering or however you want that to be said to you. All right, let's go over some take-home points. A visible tie does not equal an automatic need for surgery at all. We need to prioritize latch, transfer, maternal comfort, feeding frequency, making sure baby is doing well. Revision is rare. The American Academy of Pediatrics emphasizes that only a fraction of frenula actually cause meaningful dysfunction. A very small fraction, you guys. Revision also doesn't guarantee a fix. Without addressing latch and giving you support, you're still going to struggle. This trend of increasing diagnosis and procedures, tenfold increase, by the way, tells us we need more clinical judgment, less hype, less drilling into your head that it has to be a tongue tie issue. Moms need to ask for a lactation consultant who will stay with you, who focuses on function. They need to focus on it. They need to optimize education, latch, and they need to monitor you. You should be evaluated for the feeding function, not just anatomy. So, if a lactation consultant immediately looks at the anatomical function and features of your baby's mouth, they shouldn't be doing that without also looking at the function. A team approach is definitely key. All right, there it is. If you're a lactation consultant, a baby parent dyad, or you're just trying to figure this out, here's your takeaway. Support first. Wait when it's appropriate. And revise only when truly needed. The tie is not always the problem. And you, yes, you, are your baby's best advocate. Thanks for being here with me today. I'm Nicki, the Baby Whisperer. Until next time, I'm going to keep supporting you, and I'm going to keep helping you feed, and I'm going to keep teaching you to trust your instincts. You've got this.